Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is God spoke to me. It was an audible voice, and he spoke to me. And, you know, on this one, I just have to just share my heart for just a minute. I remember when I first got around Dimitri, and I remember the first time he came up to me and he says, I have a word from God for you. Of course, at that time, I thought everything that came from God was wonderful. Stupid. Okay, I didn't understand. And it was not good. Well, I'll tell you the situation. So this was the second time I had him in my home. We were living in Omaha at the time. And I went out to the airport to pick him up. So as he's coming off the airplane, he's carrying his suitcases. I walked over and offered to carry his suitcases for him. And he stopped and he says, Stoney, he said, God spoke to me about you on the plane. Now, of course, I'm thinking, oh, great. Wrong. So he says, I saw a vision of you and your wife arguing. Yes. Sometimes we argue. Yes. He says, no. I said, oh, okay. And he started walking. I picked up suitcases. We walked out to the car. We sat in the car. And Michael Boldea, his grandson interpreter, said, Stan, I don't think you understood what Dimitri said. He said you're not supposed to ever argue with your wife. I said, ever? He said, ever. He said, let me explain. So we're out on the road a lot. He said, sometimes we're out on the road for a week or two at a time. And we come back, and of course my grandfather is very dead, very, very tired, so he sits down in the chair, and my mom, and his wife comes over and just starts railing on him. Why were you gone so long? You know, the hot water heater went out, and this happened, and that happened, and you need to fix this, and you need to fix that. And he says, and he just sits there. He says he takes it. He does not argue with her at all, ever. I said, ever? He said, ever. He said, what he is saying is you should never argue with your wife. Of course, Leslie loves me to tell the story. And, all right, fine. I asked God to guide me in this thing, so I guess he's guiding me. I guess I'll tell you another one. So I met Dimitri for the first time I heard about him, I think it was January of 1988. Had to think through it. And I wrote him a letter, asked him to come and speak at the Full Gospel Businessman for one evening, for 1 hour. He wrote back and said he'd come for 2 weeks. I thought, 2 weeks? What do we do with this guy for 2 weeks? So anyway, long story short, I'll skip that part. So I took him around for 2 weeks. And then after that, later on the year, he invited me to go to Fullerton, California to be a part of his 501c3 government board meeting, government required board meeting. And while we were there, that morning, we sang some songs in a circle, and then we prayed, and then we went into the board meeting. And, you know, it's just stuff, you know, just here's what's going on with the ministry. Really had nothing to do with me. But that night, I got ripped. So people that think that God is always just a big compliment up there, I'm saying this for a reason. Okay, I've got a very, very important message to bring to you. So anyway, that night I had a dream that we were back in the circle singing songs, and only this time Dimitri held up one of those yellow pads and he says, I have a word from God for you. Of course, stupid. I'm thinking, oh, great. Well, I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? I'm just telling you. I mean, it's personal, it's private, and it's embarrassing. But I'm going to tell you. So He pulls up this yellow notepad and he says, I have a word from God for you. I'm thinking, oh, great. Yeah, what is it? He says, in the kingdom of God, you think you are big and you are small. Humble yourself and seek my face. I rolled out of bed at that hotel. I'm still in Fullerton, California. I got on my knees. I mean, and it's even hard for me to even talk about it right now. I get emotional about it, but to tell you, because this is important that you know that with what I'm about to tell you. So I got on my knees and I repented, and I repented, and I repented. And I would love to be able to tell you that all of the arrogance, all of the I'm good, whatever you want to call that, is gone out of me. I'd love to be able to tell you that. And God is still whipping on me from time to time, telling me to correct that. And I would love to correct it. As a matter of fact, it's probably the biggest complaint I hear about people. They think I'm arrogant. Well, I'll tell you, I'll tell you something else. I can't believe I'm saying all this. So I failed the fourth grade, and it put a problem in my heart. To sit back in the same desk, the same room, the same teacher, the second year, and see all of my friends go down the hall to the next teacher was humiliating. And it put a terrible burden in my heart to never fail again. And to tell you the truth, I think most people would never be able to do Prophecy Club. It's too much rejection. Part of that never fail again attitude has helped me. Helped me to be successful in door-to-door sales when most people can't. Successful in a lot of things that most people can't. They give up, they quit. I don't quit. But it also left a problem. And that is, for whatever reason, it makes me appear to try to put myself above people. And I guess to a certain degree, that's part of my don't quit. I don't know. I can't explain it. All I can say is that if you think God does not bring correction, you're wrong. He brings correction a lot. And I could go on talking, telling you lots of correction. He brings lots of correction. And I tell you that because we're all about to get a correction. So here's the situation. So this past Saturday, I was going to take a nap. I laid down at 1:30. I got up about 2:33. Before going to sleep, I asked the Lord in my heart, because I wanted him to answer. I want the devil to answer. I only asked him in my heart, and I said, Lord, it's been a long time since you spoke to me in some kind of a dream or vision or something like that. And I'd like to know more about the Suitcase nukes. I'd like to know, tell me something about, how close are they? When are they going to come? Something preferably about when are they coming. That's not what he said. I did get a dream. I can't remember the dream. Only I can remember it was something to do with Suitcase nukes. So the point is, this is the reason I have to tell you all this. The point is, it was having to do with Suitcase nukes. And as I was waking up, I heard medical, just that fast. Heard two words. And you say, well, that's just it. That's God? Yeah. Yeah, that's God. I intended to look up the date. It was back in 2012. Also, as I was waking up from a nap, I heard the same way. I heard massive arrest, massive arrest. Well, that was not a big correction. And you're going to say, well, how is hearing two words, medical, a big correction? It's a correction for us all, my brothers and sisters. Now, let me explain. As I was waking up, I heard those two words, medical. but it was loud. It was like a trumpet. Now, Leslie was laying right beside me taking a nap too. She was waking up at the same time. She didn't hear anything. It wasn't this ear. It was this ear, okay? Medical. It was screaming at me, loud. Not my ears, but here. Okay, so now that brings another question. What was God really saying? I think he's saying several things. I think it's saying that it's close. I think it's saying that it's real close. And I can't tell you a date. I can tell you that the prophecies in general seem to say that at a time when our financial system has changed, it has not yet, at a time when we are rejoicing in the streets, like after a time of a great victory in war, like after World War II, that has not happened yet. When that happens, then the suitcase nuke goes off. Okay, so Stan, why did it say medical? I'm going to say, I think it's because all of us that have Jesus in our heart, all of us that understand this is coming, have missed a very large piece of the pie. We have been thinking, okay, well, let's get like a satellite phone. Let's get wheat. Let's get food for ourselves, and we've been preparing all for ourselves. And this is the correction. It starts with me right here, because I don't know anything about medical. I don't know anything about medical. I don't know the first thing about medical. I have a medical kit that, I bought at some, what do you call them, gun show, okay? It's about this big. I mean, nothing. I think it's saying all of us need to be thinking about our fellow brothers and sisters, that if you're in one of those 20 cities, in other words, if you're near a major city, I'm talking about like within a couple hour drive of a major city, and that's pretty much the whole population, we all need to be thinking about our brothers and sisters, because there's about to be a bunch of burn victims, because that's what nuclear is. Yes, it's an explosion, but there's going to be a lot of burn victims, bad burn victims. And I know for myself, I'm prepared. So after I woke up, I went in and I looked up medical supplies. And they're all, like trying to sell you something, okay? Buy this little kit. Here's another little kit. And I'm thinking, I don't know the first thing about this. And to tell you the truth, I've been praying like crazy. And hopefully one of you, or maybe several of you out there, are in the medical profession, have been in the medical profession, or for whatever reason, know how to treat burn people, or to tell us where to go, because I think God is saying to all of us, not just to me, to all of his end-time army of prophecy teachers working miracles. And that's another, we all need to get prepared to help our fellow brothers and sisters. That's the rebuke. But my guess is most of us have not prepared. Now, I don't know how to do it. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know. I don't know anything about medical. I don't know where to get a kit. I don't know what kit. I guess I'm asking for help. I'm asking for prayer. I don't know what to do with medical. I know we're about to have thousands. I mean, try to imagine after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, if you lived in that area, around that area, within a couple of hour drive of where a nuclear bomb just went off, there's going to be thousands of burn victims in all of the different stages. There's going to be people that were facing it, and they're going to be blind for the rest of their life. They're going to be blind and that's another thing. I've been praying about, remember I told you August the 8th of 2015, on a Saturday night I heard, I said, Lord, what do you want to say for the sermon tomorrow morning? And I heard words, and it was I don't know if it was my ear or my heart. I heard words, just like the Saturday. I heard words. And the words were, this is the time of miracles. As the judgment hits, so are my miracles. Miracle like no one has seen, going all the way back to Adam and Eve. Well, I've been praying, and I do not think, I believe the Lord has spoken to me, that the suitcase nukes are not the judgment. that brings the fantastic miracles. Now, I know you're going to say the same thing I said. Well, why not? Because the suitcase nukes were created by man, they were smuggled into America by man, and they are set off by man. They're allowed by God, but God allows it because of the sins in our nation. But they're not the hand of God. They're not the judgment of God. The judgment of God is when the hand of God does it. The hand of God is not doing the suitcase nukes. He's allowing it, but it's not his hand. So what is the event that is his hand? I think that's the big earthquake. Joel 3:2 says, and they parted my land. It is going to happen. One of the people, I just made a 1 hour video, and it's all of the information I have on suitcase nukes, all of it in one video, and I plan to have that posted here in the next week. And when you put them all together, it seems to say that after the suitcase nukes, then comes the New Madrid earthquake, meaning that what my point is, I don't think we're going to see the miracles after these suitcase nukes go off. I think that that's not the hand of God. That's not what he calls judgment. That's not his hand. He's allowing it, but he didn't do it. See what I'm saying? So I don't think we're going to see miracles at the suitcase nukes. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think we're going to see miracles there. And I don't like this. I'd much rather just be reading something rather than sharing my heart. I think we need to get ready for medical. That's my point. I think he wants me to tell you that everybody out there, everybody needs to look into how to treat burn victims. And of course, I know there'll probably be buildings falling on people. There'll be broken bones. There'll be open cuts. There's going to be, everybody's going to have some degree of medical training in, when's it going to happen? I don't know. Sometimes I think it's definitely 24. Sometimes I think it's it's definitely 25. I'm pretty sure it's not 26. I don't know. But I can say this. I think that what the Lord is saying to us is medical. He's saying, prophecy students, yes, you need to have all of the other things, but you need to bone up on medical skills. And, I went to YouTube. I looked up burn treatment, and it's toys. It's toys. They're more trying to sell you something than they are really trying to teach you how to treat someone with a serious burn. And I have no idea about how to sew people up, or I don't know. I'm a prophecy guy, but I think what he's telling me is we need to get ready. Medical. Now let me talk about what I feel. I'm not a big feeling guy, but in this one I think I need to tell you. About 2 days before I heard medical, I said in my heart, I mean, when you have my kind of walk, you walk around talking. I don't like this. I don't like sharing my heart like this. When you're at my level, and I'm not saying I'm close to God, okay? He's always hitting on me. He's always correcting me. But I walk around talking to him all the time. And so I said, Lord, there's most of my life I have wished that you would have told me when, for example, like the internal revolution is coming. When are these things coming? Can't you give me some dates? Well, now, since I was told in 1988 about the internal revolution coming, and now here it is over 40 years later, I look back, and maybe it was a good thing he didn't tell me when it was going to be, because then it would have just been, I don't know, I think it was a bad idea. But here's my point. Ever since he said medical, to me it's saying it's really close, Stan. It's really close. It's also saying it's really real. It really is coming, and you're not going to stop it. This is not his hand. The anointing just touched me. As soon as I said, you're not going to stop it. I don't like this. I don't like sharing my heart. I get emotional. So he just confirmed to me, you're not going to stop it. So ever since he said medical, I've been upset in my heart. As you can tell, I'm upset. And I don't get upset very often. Ask Leslie. I'm upset for my nation. I'm upset because I live in the DFW area, and the prophecies say one's going to hit in Fort Worth, one's going to hit in Dallas, which is about 20 miles from where I live. So I am probably going to be dealing with burn victims. And, you know, he told me to get all this wheat. I got a bunch of wheat, and I'm saying I'm upset. I'm upset because this is apparently real. Apparently it's close, and it's coming like a freight train, and you're not going to pray this one away. You're not going to stop this one. And I pray every day, Lord, don't let them split Israel, and don't split America, and don't let the suitcase nukes go off every day. I've been praying for years. Got the fast track and the fast gap team praying, don't let us get hit with suitcase nukes. But apparently it's not his hand, but it's his will. Because, you know, you look, when there's 74,000 people voted for Trump, and 71 million voted for Trump, and 71 million voted for Kamala Harris, that tells you that probably, I'm just guessing, 20 to 30% of the ones that voted for Trump are not Christians. Hopefully that means that 60 or 70% of them are. But then all the ones that voted for Kamala Harris, you can pretty much bet that they are not Christians. Okay, what is that saying? It's probably saying that some 75% of the beating hearts in America are not Christians. They walked on the blood of Jesus. They've turned their nose up at the gift God has given them. And that's the whole point of life, is to understand that Jesus laid his life down. No one took it. He laid his life down, and he endured the most painful death of anyone in human history. And people in America have walked away from that blood. When that blood dripped on the Ark of the Covenant, it set us free. We don't have to sin anymore once we say, Jesus, come into my heart. We don't have to. We can. We don't have to. But prior to that, apparently, the way this thing works is the devil has control of them. And I think that Jesus is just he's running out of patience for his nation that's supposed to be a shining city on this hill, taking the gospel to the world. And instead, we are taking the filth to the world through our movies, our music, our printed matter, the way we live. We're corrupted. And he's tired of it. Now, let me go back to the point. I've been upset ever since he said medical. Because Leslie and I were talking about this. She says, Stan, I think that you move all of this Dimitri Duduman, all of these other suitcase nukes, the wars, all of this bad stuff, all of this prophecy stuff. She says, I think you move it into the over the hill. Someday it's going to come, but it's not real. And I said, I think I do too. I think I have to, because who could put up with this, believe in this? I mean, believing it on a real level every day. Well, ever since I heard medical, all of a sudden, all this stuff came real. And I've been upset. I don't want to believe this is real. I don't want to believe that we're about to be hit with some 20 or 30, maybe even 35 suitcase nukes. Apparently, the plan is all at the same instant. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that perhaps even before the end of November. And that's another thing. I'm scared to death of trying to tell you something that doesn't come to pass. I'll just be honest with you. I want to just tell you, I think it's real close. I prayed, and that's the whole point of this whole prayer. I was praising, asking God to tell me, when do the suitcase nukes hit, or are they going to hit? And the answer I got was medical, medical. And that's a big answer. He's saying that's what you need to prepare for, Stan. Stan, you need to prepare. I don't know nothing about medical. I know more about racquetball than I know about medical. I don't know how to take care of people. But he's saying need to bone up on it. So I guess he's saying that to everybody. All of us prophecy students. If you believe that there's suitcase nukes out there, he's saying that to you. He's saying that we all need to get prepared to help our fellow brothers and sisters that are about to be really, really, really hurting. And that might include some that don't believe like we believe, don't have the same language as the same color of skin, but we better be there helping them. So if you can help me understand how to help a burn victim, I don't even know what I'm asking. I don't even know. I don't know. Is there a kit? I know. I don't know. I don't know. And I looked on YouTube, and there's a bunch of toys. They're more selling some kind of kit than they are really trying to help somebody. So hopefully someone out there can email me. I don't know, but it's close, it's real, and we're about to get hit, my brothers and sisters, and we're not ready. That's what he's saying. In other words, he's saying that's the big thing, Stan, that you and all of the people that do believe you, that's the big thing they're missing. They're not preparing for the medical emergencies. They're preparing to feed people. Great. Filter your water with water filters. Great. EMP. Great. But he's saying the thing that you've missed on is medical. Not just for yourself, but for your brothers and sisters around about you. So there you go. I've shared my heart. And I've shared my heart. And if you would, please remember us in your giving. We're still struggling. The only thing I can explain is, I guess, all of the Christians put all of their extra coins in trying to help Trump win this election or some kind of a local election. But for the last couple of months, our donations just been, we just almost hit red in our checking account several times. So if you can help, God has blessed you, we would really appreciate that. That would be very, very helpful. I check our account praying every day. It's not in the red. I don't like to do that. I like to have enough to where, and I don't have to concentrate on the finances. I can just concentrate on doing whatever we're supposed to do, getting the word out. So anyway, the whole point is medical. That's what I heard. And I think you believe me. I think I wouldn't get on here and like this and cook this story up. I heard words. I don't hear them very often, but it's a rebuke. It's a correction. First to me, and then to anybody else that believes these warnings. Get ready medically. That's what he's saying. Get ready medically. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians, and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper, and as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. Hey, give them a call. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice. In 2021, I started making bread. And long story short is, I believe God showed me that wheat is God's famine food, just like it was famine food back in the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, days of Pharaoh and Joseph. And I believe that that's what God has planned to feed his people. And you get it by going to josephskitchen.com. 3 steps. First, you want to get a machine package. Second, you want to order 6 ingredients. and watch some videos, download the recipes to be able to make the bread. josephskitchen.com. Most of your long-time storage food, emergency food, all of that, typically are talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph's Kitchen can show you how to do it for around $1,000 a person, and your kids will actually eat it, and it's actually good for you. Here's some bread that I made. In my case, I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, gives me more energy. I eat morning, slice in the morning, slice in the afternoon, always a slice before I go play racquetball. Go check it out, josephskitchen.com.